Hey everyone, and welcome back to a very exciting Yosemite Valley episode. Today we are going to turn the Chimpanzee House into actually the Amur Leopard area. Now this one has been super exciting because I planned this ahead quite a bit since we knew that there is going to be the Amur Leopard in the game, and it just makes a lot of sense to put that thing in the area of the big cats. That said, there's going to be a bit more of an overhaul, but more about that in a future update video about Yosemite. I feel like there has to be a video about this, so keep your eyes on the channel for updates of Yosemite, because there will be quite a few. It's kind of fun to see this now in this speed build, because it looks also smooth and straightforward, but trust me, it wasn't. It's been a little bit of a challenge, because the FPS, even on pause mode on my, I'm gonna call this, yeah, what is this? Is this kind of an interim computer? Like, my system at the moment is not at full power, mainly because I have a different mainboard for the moment being, and I've got less RAM than normally. And even though it's, for most things, not really an issue, for Yosemite it is, because this park is really up there. You know, Yosemite and Koali are both the projects that I struggle quite a lot in, mainly due to the fact that the mainboard is a lot weaker than my old one was, and so I can't do the intelligent overclocking and threading with the CPU, which the CPU is capable of, and so that's always the better thing to be used, but unfortunately I can't do that right now, and this is why, especially in Yosemite, the performance is quite a lot worse than it used to be, and this is also why you guys unfortunately won't be treated with a real-time part today. I'm going to include some screenshots, but other than that I can't, simply due to the fact that it's really not enjoyable to watch that at the moment. That said, it's definitely something that is going to be solved in the future, so no worries about that. This project is not going to be ended, and I think this example over here, the Amur Leopard House, really showed me that there is still quite a bit in Yosemite to be done. I just kind of felt like I wanted to stop the project for 10 times, but I just kind of, you know, I always come back to the project. It's just like too good to abandon that, and we've got so many new things that I will have to fix in here anyhow, that there is a good chance that we will see this project around at least for a longer time. And I guess at this point my best bet is to say that this project will be alive until the official support of Planet Zoo is going to be stopped, because I think at that point it doesn't make sense to, you know, run that project anymore, simply because also performance and stuff will then be settled at what it is. But the positive news is that the performance of Yosemite over the last couple of months has been constantly improved by Frontier's updates. So it's actually a very good measurement method to see how good the updates are in terms of performance, and especially the last one, not this update, but the last one, I think was the Wetlands DLC, the free update 1.9 it was, I believe, had a huge improvement in performance in this park, and also in Koali for me. Specifically, I think, you know, my personal guess is that it was related to the change in Teget cam into the actual explore mode cam. Not sure if there's anything that changed, but I have the feeling that the rendering process is a little bit more straightforward in making sure that things that don't need to be rendered are really not rendered. I think that that Teget cam still wasn't officially implemented, and hence in the first person mode you still might have had some hiccups here and there, because maybe the viewfinding wasn't perfect, and hence more things have been rendered than that needed to be rendered. But that's just my totally not educated guess here. So yeah, just my gut feeling, I guess. But whatever. Let's speak about this area, because this area has a lot of things to it that I'm really excited about. So I've learned a couple of things due to the fact that I have a project running with a certain Mike, and he's been doing a lot of things in Koali with different like height elevations and pathfinding, and really always having the guest in mind and the story behind in mind, and I try to do the exact same thing here. Now, the Chimpanzee House, as amazing as I found it when I built it, turned out to have more and more issues, which most of those issues were created by the way how this project evolved. Now, it wasn't really an issue by default. It was an issue that became an issue over the time that the project moved on, because there was no real reason for the chimpanzees to be there. There was no real fit, because that was legit the only primate we had in this area. Now, as a lot of other primates made its way to the zoo, it became more and more redundant to have primates over here, because sometimes you have people that come into the zoo to see certain animals, including, for example, primates. And in that sense, it was totally weird that it was here. Now, then I continued building a couple of paths, and over the time that the big cat house changed, and hence this usually this area over here, or in the past, has been a dead end. But after the change that I made with the diving big cats and the Siberian tiger, this area became a real valid point for the people to transfer or how's that called again? Traverse, that's the word I was looking for, to traverse through, because this now guides into the big cat area, so you can take that route over the bridge of the Siberian area. Fun fact, by the way, the Siberian tiger area, which always has been an issue, is magically fixed. I think Frontier again changed something about the big cats. I assume it might have been because of the Amur leopard now. I have no idea what it was, but I'm just glad it was just changed, because I went back to fix the Siberian tiger now, simply because that area is now connected to it, and then I just figured that it is fixed. So they did change something with the hitboxes again, or fix it. I'm not sure if it's even a fix or whatever, but yeah, the good news, simply put, is that now I have finally again control over the Siberian tiger area, and we can finally have the habitat as a working habitat again. And also in terms of climate zones, it makes a lot of sense to have the Amur leopard and the Siberian tiger close to each other, because not only that they are somewhat close to each other on the continent they're on, also climate-wise it just fits a lot better, and so it just makes a lot of sense that both of these habitats are built a little bit towards the mountainside here, while all the other big cats are connected to the house, but they are actually on the flat, on the plains. So not only story-wise, but also like just pure landscaping wise, it makes a lot of sense to have it over here. And this time around I experimented a little bit more with like a kind of a bit of a mesh cage. I still would love to have some more smaller rope pieces, but for the time being I'm gonna go with those mesh pieces. You will see that I do use some of the plants this time to advantage, and also I'm gonna repurpose one of those walls I built for the Chimpanzee House. I'm still quite a big fan of this wall, and so I ended up doing that. Now, a couple of things I wanted to talk about is I can't really imagine why this build is so straightforward in the way I build. Like, it's a bit scary, but everything worked out. I had this kind of planned out in my mind already while I was having a shower, but I never thought it's gonna turn out that well, simply because, first of all, the traversable area just magically worked, and again, I feel like Frontier has done something to the big cats, a very good thing, I might say, because they just work again. They have a good finding of a traversable area, and there is not like that much going on with hitboxes, and the jumps look a lot more solid now and not as crazy anymore, and so what I built over here just magically worked, and I'm not gonna complain, it just worked. And I thought, you know what, simply because they are living, like the Amur leopard is living close to rivers, especially in Asia, then which is obviously the region where they would live in, it is something I wanted to incorporate over here, again with these beautiful waterfall pieces, and also that it just turns out to be looking amazing. I really do hope that this thumbnail for this project is catching a lot of attention, because this build really has a special place in my heart already, because I really love it. One thing though I'm gonna admit is I might gonna use the Amur Leopard mod that is on Nexus Mods already. It's kind of a remake of the in-game one. I usually don't do this because I don't need to, because 99% of the time the model that Frontier provides is the best model you can have. But I already mentioned that I'm not super happy with the Leopard model, and some modder did a fantastic remodel of this one, which looks unfortunately, I have to say so, but a lot better than the in-game one does. And so I might gonna use this one simply because it just looks better and suit this area more. It's kind of using mods while it's not using mods, you know what I mean? Because, well, if I'm gonna upload this to the workshop, the Amur Leopard is part of the game anyhow, so I'm not taking away an animal from people who don't use mods. They just have to use the actual leopard then, and I can just make that version for the workshop upload. So that's something I have in mind. It's kind of cheating, but it's not, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just happy there is a version, but I'm still hoping that Frontier might consider doing a remodel of that one for the in-game version, just as they did with the Binturong, and they addressed that in the past. So I would be more than happy if they do the same thing again. But in any case, I'm also doing the indoor section. It's a very simplistic one, but I feel like the simplistic one really did what it should do. It provides a very nice shelter for them, very big shelter. It provides a good visibility for the guest without actually annoying the animals too much, simply because it's not on the main road. You really have to work your way up here to see them indoors. And it also provides obviously shade and, you know, some shelter from storm, and it does also provide them with a good amount of heat and coolness in the summer, and that's also something what you have to consider. And in winter times, Yosemite does provide a very nice overall climate for them to thrive in, and so that's what I'm doing over here. So overall, even though this habitat is not like super crazy, I think it's one of the most beautiful and organically integrated ones in Yosemite. You can obviously let me know in the comments what you think about it, but again, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of how the traversable area works. I'm a huge fan of this entire habitat in a zoo sense, because I think it really looks like a proper zoo would do it. Again, as always, I've used a lot of inspiration from ZooChat, one of my most favorite websites to go to when I'm using inspiration for that. And yeah, just putting some enrichment items here and there. And again, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Again, here, as I said, using some of the foliage elements to provide some more privacy, simply because you can use some of the bushes and some of the stuff to block the views from the guest. And yeah, all these kind of things together are working out into a very lovely habitat, as I might say. And yeah, it's been very straightforward. The build has been very, very straightforward. I was on a really, really good run building this. I haven't really expected that to be that straightforward. There are a couple of little things I need to add. There's like this little bridge over the stream. There's a couple of little pipes that I have to do for the stream. I have to add some of the images, and, you know, a couple little things I will do in the future with the next update of Yosemite. And we are also going to have a bit more of a special area here. We have improved the guest flow dramatically, because the guest flow over here was a bit of a weird thing. You had to go a very weird path through the sequoia area to make it here, and now it's a lot easier because you are granted with 2 options, and I think that's the way better solution. But in any case, that's been it for today. Hope you enjoyed. And now here are a couple of screenshots. I hope you enjoyed that one. If you want to see more, please consider subscribing. Have a good time, and stay safe, everyone. Goodbye.